Hey everyone, today we're finally going to be checking out the 26-liter Goruck GR1. This is the Slick edition that was done as a collaboration with Huckberry, and I've been talking about the GR1 on the channel for many years now. It's one of my all-time favorite bags. I always focused on the 21-liter version, however, because that's more the size that I like to use for my day-to-day, but a few people have commented on how much they like the 26-liter version of the GR1, so it definitely piqued my curiosity. I knew that it was going to be a little bit larger and taller than what I was used to, but it seemed like something that still offered a pretty slim form factor, and I was curious to see how it felt compared to some of the other bags in Goruck's lineup. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test this over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with a quick overview of the aesthetic, I've talked a lot on the channel about how much I like Goruck's more minimal style. I particularly like the Huckberry and Goruck Slick collaborations, and so with these versions, you're not going to have any molly webbing on the front, on the sides, and I also like that you don't have the Velcro patch area. Although I do like using that to customize the bag sometimes, I think that it's really cool to have this more minimal appearance. And I also really like the colorways that are part of this collaboration. I've used the Ranger green version, the all black version, this Coyote version. I think that they all look great. And they just offer a style that's gonna work well in pretty much any environment. As far as the materials, you have Goruck's typical rock solid build quality. For the exterior fabric, you have a 1000D Cordura that's going to hold up well to rougher usage. Goruck's bags are of course not going to be the lightest, but you do get a lot of durability for that trade-off. And then beyond that, you have some really nice YKK zippers all throughout. No AquaGuard zippers or anything like that on these, but you do have the flaps that come over the zippers to give you a little bit of extra protection from the elements. Continuing along the outside of the bag, you have a super simple exterior. As I mentioned earlier, no webbing or anything like that. You really just have the handle at the top, well reinforced. So this is gonna be great for, just pulling the bag up even when it's a little bit more loaded out. And then it does manage to stand up pretty well on its own, particularly when it's loaded out, as it does have a fairly flat bottom. And so that's nice to be able to place this down next to you. And moving into the capacity, which is the most kind of distinctive aspect of this one for me, just because I haven't had a chance to use the 26-liter GR1 in the past, I was really surprised with how much this was able to hold. At 26 liters, that's always going to be a little bit of a larger EDC in my opinion, and we'll be able to hold some extra stuff, but this one really was surprising with how much it was able to hold, as we'll look at when we talk about sort of the loadout that I have in here. And so it's definitely a little taller than what I'm used to wearing for a daily bag. And it still manages to maintain a pretty slim profile even when it's a little bit more packed out, which I think is one of the things that's going to be very helpful about it. And so just thinking about how it compares to some of the other bags that come to mind when I'm wearing this, here I have a side-by-side shot with the 21-liter GR1, and so you can see that it is taller, which is going to be the primary difference. And then I also have a side-by-side shot with the 26-liter GR2, which to me has kind of the same height as the GR1 and the 21-liter, but it just has the extra compartment on the front, so you're going to have some extra depth. And then one more shot I wanted to throw up here is the 34-liter GR2, which feels like it has a height that's similar to this one, but again, you're going to have the extra depth from the extra compartment that the GR2's layout provides. And so this to me still feels more like a minimal travel bag, but if you're taller or you don't mind having a larger bag for your day-to-day, I still think that this profile is going to be very versatile. It's something that I think you can carry on to a variety of domestic and international airlines, easily stored in an overhead storage compartment. As a personal item, I think that it's going to be more on the edge, particularly for the stricter international airlines, particularly on the height, as I think that it's just going to end up looking maybe a little bit too tall. Continuing with the harness system, like other Goruck bags, this harness feels very robust and comfortable to wear. I really like the amount of padding that they include, and I am a fan of the nylon backing on the straps and the back panel. I think that it just feels more broken in and easier to wear out of the box, less abrasive. These straps also have a good width to prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. They feel well reinforced. With these Slick editions, you don't have any webbing on the straps, so You won't be able to add a sternum strap, which I know some people don't like. You can probably send this to Goruck Scars and have those added, but you know, I don't really use sternum straps with my Goruck bags too much, so I've never really minded that. And then, you know, just good padding along the back, well distributed. As with other Goruck bags, this isn't gonna be the most breathable harness, but you know, it'll still feel comfortable with the support that it offers as you're wearing it for a longer period of time. And on the back panel, you have Goruck's laptop compartment, which is padded, suspended, and with this 26 liter size, it's gonna be very spacious. So if you happen to have a 15 or 16-inch laptop, it'll be able to fit in here comfortably. Jumping into the organizational options, the layout here is pretty much the same as many of the other Goruck videos that I've done recently. The differences are gonna be more in the space that the compartments provide. And so starting off at the top, you have the quick access pocket that has been just such a great addition to so many of Goruck's bags recently. Nice amount of space here. I have a headlamp, my AirPods, a Magic Mouse, and a charging cable, and there was still some leftover space in there. The orange liner also adds to the visibility to make it easy to see what you want to get to. And then on the front, you have the zippered pocket that's been on Goruck's bags for a long time. To me, the Cordura fabric is usually the toughest to kind of combine with this pocket because it feels stiffer. And so particularly when the main area is loaded out, there's just not that much space here. You can still fit, you know, a variety of different types of cables and other accessories. Here I have kind of a laptop charger along with some extra cables. It is a tall compartment and it pairs well with something like a wire dop. And I also have my iPad in here. And so these are the types of things that I would store. You can see that they're a little tight here, but you know, particularly for, you know, just getting through the airport or something, I think it gets the job done, especially with how packed out the main compartment currently is. So I'll go ahead and empty that. And then with the main compartment, you still have a clamshell style opening. And at the moment, I actually have this loaded out for travel just because I was curious of how much it would actually be able to hold. And I was surprised to see that it holds the same loadout that I would probably be able to get into a 32 liter bag. So these are the items that I would typically have with me on a 1 to 2 week trip, and they fit in here comfortably. There's even a little bit of leftover space. And so jumping in at the top, I have a packable rain jacket, I have a toiletry bag, and then I have an extra pair of shoes, some Toms in a packing cube. I have an extra packing cube, which I was surprised fit in there, and then my typical Peak Design packing cube setup with the small compressible packing cube and the medium compressible packing cube. So very, very easy to fit all of that in. And you know, that comes down to this open layout. That's what makes the 21 liter version of this bag so versatile, is that it can also hold more than you would imagine for its size. And you know, this is something that will definitely be able to handle the items that I would normally carry on my day-to-day, all my pouches, my headphones, other accessories. There's going to be more than enough space. I think the bag will actually look fairly empty. And then on the back, you still have, you know, the same slip pocket that other GR1s have, a couple of rows of webbing to attach some additional accessories. You can see that quick access pocket at the top. And on the other side, you have the two zippered pockets on the lid. So you have one with mesh here, which is going to be very spacious. I normally don't use these too much because, you know, I like to leave all the space for the main compartment, but sometimes I'll throw my laptop charger and other cables in here. And then at the top, you have an extra zippered pocket, which is always a great kind of additional quick access area. At the moment, I just have my sunglasses in here, but you have enough volume to store a variety of different items. And so overall, I think this is a layout that continues to be very versatile and adaptable to many different packing styles. I continue to really like the GR1's form factor, and although I prefer the 21 liter for my day-to-day, I can definitely see the appeal of having the extra space provided by the 26 liter. And if you're looking for something that's going to be very rugged and give you a nice amount of capacity in a slimmer form factor, then this is going to be a fantastic option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a pretty great experience testing out the 26 liter GR1. You can currently purchase this Slick edition on Huckberry's site. It's going to come in at around $345, so definitely an investment, as tends to be the case with Goruck's bags. You are, however, getting something that's very solidly built and is also going to offer Goruck's lifetime warranty, but there's going to be some other great bags in this price range that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the Goruck 26 liter GR2, which to me feels like it takes the best of both worlds of the 21 liter GR1 and the 34 liter GR2 and kind of combines it into a really versatile layout that I've used as a daily bag. It's a great minimal travel bag. I've used it as a personal item, And I just really love having that extra clamshell compartment. The 26 liter size holds an impressive amount, and the height on that bag just matches up a little bit better for what I normally like to carry. You still get Goruck's excellent build quality. It's offered in a couple of different fabrics and sizes, and so if you're looking for something that's going to offer a nice organizational layout and a very rugged build quality, then that's going to be a fantastic option to take a look at. Another bag this made me think of is the Brown Buffalo Conceal Pack. That's another really minimal and durable everyday carry option. It's listed at about 21 liters, but to me it feels closer to the 26 liter size of the GR1 that I have here. It's going to offer a very comfortable harness system, a luggage pass-through, a pretty simple layout. It still has a clamshell style opening, and it includes a lot of hook and loop backing to allow you to customize the bag with a variety of different accessories. You do have some built-in organization, but it's fairly minimal, and so like this one, it's something that is just meant to be simple, effective, and if you're looking for something that's this style and size, but it's going to have a little bit of a different harness and layout, then that's going to be a great one to take a look at. And then the last option that I'll mention here is the Able Carry Max EDC, which is also listed at 26 liters. It's able to hold an impressive amount, and I really like the silhouette of that bag. It doesn't feel quite as tall as this one, and it offers a nice organizational layout, great quick access pocket on the front, on the side, dedicated laptop compartment that's padded and suspended. Really like the harness system that Able Carry uses on their bag. It's got a luggage pass-through, and so just a really great bag. It also comes in with X-Pack fabric that's going to offer a nice amount of weather resistance, and so if you're looking for a bag that's going to offer a very modern kind of techie vibe that's also a little rugged, that's going to be one of the best options to keep in mind. With that being said, the 26 liter GR1 holds up very well against all those options. I've been a huge fan of this form factor for a number of years now, and so it was great to finally have a chance to use the larger version. I can see why this has continued to be popular even with the availability of the 21 liter GR1 and the 26 liter GR2. I still think that this one, offers a nice balance of a slimmer form factor that's going to still be able to hold a ton of stuff, particularly for taller people. I think this is a really cool option, but anyone who's looking for a simple but versatile bag, I think will get a lot of value out of this. I'm also a big fan of the Slick edition that I have here. I really love these collaborations that Goruck has been doing with Huckberry. Hopefully we'll see some more of them in the future. And if you just want a rugged, all-purpose EDC bag, this is gonna be a fantastic option to take a look at. And I'm curious to hear what you all think of the 26 liter GR1 and how it compares to some of the other popular EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank Huckberry for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.